you, Mr. Speaker. Will the chairman yield for a few questions?
Will you yield, Mr.
Yes, Mr. Speaker.
The chairman yields.
Chairman, I just had a few questions in regards to the higher education portion of the budget. And the first thing I just wanted to ask about, that I know that the TAP amount is being increased.
Do me a favor. Can you be a little louder?
Sure.
Okay.
I know that in the higher education portion of the budget, the TAP award is being increased from about $5,165 to about $5,315. And, you know, we're looking at an increased cost of $28 million. I just wanted to know how that would affect the appropriations for the DREAM Act. Because I know we did obviously vote, and the Assembly did pass a version of the DREAM Act a few weeks back, but I didn't know if the increase in TAP had increased the amount designated for the DREAM Act.
It would be a minimum. There are only 6,000 kids that would come under the program, so I think it would not be affected.
So the executive budget, I think, earmarks about $27 million for it. So is that the line that we'll be sticking with in the Assembly version of the budget?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. Next thing, I had a question on the uniform policy on sexual assault. It came up during the higher education hearing, public hearing of the budget. And when I asked the president on the Commission on Independent Colleges and Universities, I said, how are the private schools, because obviously it already applies to the SUNY schools, how are the private schools preparing for it, and will they be able to be in compliance with it? And she said they were on board, and they were obviously going to make the proper procedural changes to make sure that they could comply with it. So when looking at the one-house version of the budget here, it says that we're not including the governor's proposal to extend the SUNY policy on sexual assault to all colleges and universities in New York State. And I kind of found that surprising, considering that the Commission on Independent Colleges and Universities said they were making the proper preparations for the policies and that their college campuses could comply. So I was just wondering why it was taken out of the one-house version.
On the introduction in the book, we have it there, and we talk about it. We're still talking to more people, so we didn't want to do anything until we got the right place to be.
So you're thinking that there's hope for it to be in the final version of the budget, but you just want to make sure that final...
Yes, we want to get it right, so we don't want to put anything down until we've talked to more people. But we have a nice section in here, not nice, a section that speaks to that.
Okay. Good, thank you. And then my last question has to do with the MTA tax. This year, we're including exemptions that include public libraries, which is very important, so it frees up some money so the public libraries could provide more services to our constituents. I just want to know if there was any thought in what the cost would be if we extended the MTA tax exemption to the community colleges. I know one of my colleagues spoke about the importance of the community colleges, and I think all of us agree in this room, and the President has obviously emphasized what an important role our community colleges play. But I know in the lower, in the Long Island area, and obviously outside and inside New York City, the MTA tax does burden our community colleges. And just wondering, now that they are busting at the seams, and we're looking at tuition increases and such, whether or not in the final version we could look towards, and what the cost would be to the state of exempting the community colleges from the MTA tax.
We don't have a precise number to answer your question, but in the coming days, I'll see if I can get you an answer. Okay?
Great. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank
Chairman.
you.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.